Well, good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F1 League 2. We are here for Season 17, Round 5 of the Championship as we take in the Hungaroring, the Hungarian Grand Prix from Magna Nadezhd to give it its full name. Of course, to you and me, it is the Hungaroring. Of course, I'm James Head, going to be taking you through the action. Like last night, we have technical issues. Paco Suarez was due to be here. His internet, sadly, is not strong enough once again to be joining me in the commentary box. So you're stuck with me for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. But I will try and entertain you along the way, and I'm sure the guys out on track will do so as well, as we see a fantastic attendance already. 14 drivers already here, probably a few more to come as well, and everyone just preparing up for the lobby. Gives me a good chance actually to really run down the standings and the graphics of everything, and I've just realised actually that I haven't actually saved the standings, which is fantastic. I've been doing so much over the last couple of minutes or so. I haven't saved the standings, which is fantastic. Bear with me for 1 second while I do that. I can run you through the last week's result. It was, of course, Mashiro who took the win from Key in second. The McLarens 1-2 last time out. And of course, finishing in third place in the German Grand Prix was OWR Daniil. So Daniil having a good race there in third position, and Mashiro and Key dominating there out on top. Looking then at the race winners, difference in poles to wins, as you can quite clearly see probably on your screen now. Pariah has taken 3 out of the 4 pole positions so far this season. However, that stat has completely gone out the window. We've got a 75% strike rate currently in terms of qualifying and in the race in TTL F1 League 1. We've had 4 different winners so far this season. Key, Storm, Maximus and Mashiro all have won races this season. The stick 'em up driver of the day, predictably, I think, given he won the race, was TTG Mashiro. Very good performance from him out on track, so he was awarded the stick 'em up driver of the day. And let's have a look then at the driver standings out here. Key on 69 points currently leads the way in the McLaren. It is a McLaren 1-2 as well, as it's Mashiro in second on 62 points. That win really doing his chance as well for the championship here coming into tonight. TTG Storm is in third on 51 points, with YWR Axnes in fourth on 44 points. All the fours there for Axnes. Fifth is TTG Hades, now TTG Hades, which is good to see. 36 points he is on. In sixth, OWR Daniil, he's on 34 points in the Ferrari. Tie for 7th between Maximus and Pariah. Remember, Maximus, after his British win, was well up there in the standings. Now has dropped down with drivers getting a more consistent result ahead of him. Pariah now tied with that position for 7th position. Jeffrey in 9th on 13 points, and Mays is in 10th on 11 points. Just sneaking into the top 10 there is Mays. In 11th is Atlas Copo on 9 points, with Charlie in 12th, tied on 8 points with OWR Lord Hulton. Passells is in 14th on 7 points. Just to clarify, Charlie and Lord Hulton on 8 points. Passells on 7 and 14th. Wedlow Billy hasn't had the best run of races so far, but he's in 15th on 4 points. OWR Shumi is in 16th on 1 point, and we've got a whole host of nil points. Conti, Tom, Vax Viking, and YWR Storm, who is not showing up here tonight, all of them on the fabled nil point. Well, McLaren are dominating, as you can probably tell by reading out the drivers' standings, by me reading out the drivers' standings. They are really dominating in the constructors' standings. So let's have a look at them. McLaren on 131 points coming into tonight, well clear of the opposition constructing teams. Toro Rosso is in 2nd on 61 points, with Racing Point in 3rd on 59, and Alfa Romeo in 4th on 53 points. An 8-point gap there between 2nd to 4th in the constructors. Will be interesting to see how that progresses during tonight. Ferrari is in 5th on 35 points, with Mercedes in 6th on 25. All of those points have came from Maximus, by the way, who is here tonight. Renault is in 7th on 18 points, Red Bull in 8th on 13, Williams in 9th on 8, and Haas in 10th on 4 points coming into tonight. And of course, we are here at the Hungaroring. I'm going to take my first opportunity then to have a look through the comments and see how you guys are doing on this wonderfully brilliant, I think, Friday night. Of course, we are all stuck in lockdown still, but what's not better than a bit of TTL F1 League 2 racing on a Friday night to get you in that weekend mood? Yes, we are here, of course, as I say, throughout this lockdown period, and we will always be here no matter what happens. Let's just have a look then at some of the guys that have been commenting. Good evening to everyone. Evening, James. Hope throat is okay tonight. Yeah, my throat is fine tonight. I have got a drink which is appropriately here. Storm has decided he's not going to be competitive enough with the pad now, so he's going to make the change to wheels soon. That could be quite interesting, of course. Storm currently 3rd in the standings coming into tonight. It should be very interesting to see, as I say, how this qualifying and how the race progresses. Remember, if you're just new to TTL F1 League 2, it is the same format as TTL F1 League 1. Short qualifying, 18 minutes in length, and a 50% race, totaling 35 laps in total around here at the Hungaroring at Magnar Nadadec. Now, if I pronounce that wrong, don't at me or anything within the YouTube comments. I am from the northeast of England. I don't have the greatest accent in the world, and trust me when I say this, I pronounce things a little bit differently to maybe people down south within England, but there we go. I think that's just how I am really in terms of that. We've got 16 drivers currently here though within the lobby, and let us have a look then at the track that these guys have got to do. We are just reaching 8 o'clock and we will see the track map come up. 2 DRS zones then, 14 corners in total here at Magnar Nadadec, the Hungaroring. 2 DRS zones, as I say, 1 down the start finish straight and 1 down the hill towards turn 2. As I mentioned last night in TTL F1 when I covered the stream last night, there are so many opportunities in qualifying especially to invalidate your lap, and these drivers will have to take that with a pinch of salt, I think, coming into tonight. Looking at the main focus points on the track, certainly turn 4, a slight uphill rise into turn 4 at the end of the first sector into the middle sector, that is always a car killer. It is always a car killer. You never see a race around here at Hungary without somebody spinning and crashing out there. I can guarantee there between turns 4 and 5 we will see something happen. Whoever with, we will see something happen, I think. Chicanes, you can pick up invalidations there through 6 and 7 and through 8 and 9 as well. And then the run through turn 11 can be taken flat out when on a fresher set of tyres. But turn 11 really going to be that interesting point here out on track towards the end of the middle sector. We saw Liam Bentley crash out there last night in TTL F1 League 1. And then that very tricky hairpin at turn 13 as well, that 90-degree hairpin coming through turn 13. A real sharp change, and especially if you get caught up on the curb, you will end up half spinning the car, especially if you've already got worn tyres. The drivers will have to realise that here tonight. Looking at the guys that we've got then, we've got a brand new driver actually coming into tonight. That is King Koza. We'll confirm his car in just a second. But 16 drivers here tonight to give you guys, hopefully, some great racing out on track for TTL F1 League 2 as we just load into the lobby for the qualifying session. Remember, 18 minutes worth. Hopefully it's a dry qualifying session and a dry race, and it is a dry qualifying session, so that's one prediction I've got right so far here tonight. And just to confirm, King Koza is in the Williams, and I'm under the impression that he is now a full-time driver in that seat. But we are here into qualifying then. What are you guys predicting there in the comment section? Do let us know your thoughts by, of course, putting a like, comment and subscribe onto the comment section, and have a look at the comment section as well while you're at it. I want to see a big debate going on here tonight about F1 2020. I want to try and get a little bit of debate going, so if you are interested, of course, in getting involved in that and want to comment anything as well with the racing going on in the background, of course you can, and that is much more appreciated out on track. Pariah is one of the first out on track. Remember, Pariah coming into tonight has had 3 pole positions out of 4, but has yet to score a race win. We talk about consistency quite a bit here in TTL, especially in TTL F1 more in particular, but TTL F2, Pariah has got to be careful, I think, tonight. Will he set pole position? Will he go on for a good lap? It remains to be seen. If he can replicate the form as he has been doing the last couple of rounds, then obviously he is going to be one of the favourites to take pole position here tonight. But I'm looking at this man here, Key, to take pole position. Invalidated on his outlap here, but he is coming through towards 8 and 9 now. And Key, of course, currently our championship leader coming into tonight ahead of his teammate Mashiro. And they just plan out what happened last time out in Belgium. It was, of course, Mashiro taking it, but Key got the fastest lap. That is why he is a little bit further ahead than what you might expect. 69 points. Would have been 68 to 62, but it's 69 to 62 as a result of his fastest lap. And Key, actually, is coming back into the pit, so it's clearly picked up a next lap invalidated there. We go back on board then with Pariah, who is coming round turn 13. The Norwegian, hopefully, going to be setting a good lap here. He's coming around the final corner now as we get prepared for the first lap here with Hungary, getting very close to the inside curve there. He's on a set of hard compound of tyres. Anybody that goes on a set of softs, as you saw last night, strategy does work for a little bit, but trust me, hards is the way to go in qualifying, and possibly even mediums as well. Oh, and I flicked a machine by mistake. Pariah coming through turn 1 then, now on the run down towards turn 2. Let's go on board then with a lap of the Norwegian. He now comes through turn 2 and then through turn 3. But was taking flat out through there. Oh, just missing the apex and is invalidated. So Pariah has invalidated on his lap. And another one to bite the dust early on in terms of qualifying. I've got a couple of drivers, I think, coming out of the pits. Axnes is on a lap. We'll go on board though with that Racing Point, who is just on a lap. And I think it's Charlie, who was just started off on a lap. No, it's Storm. So we will go on board then with Axnes, who is the next to come across the line. And Axnes going for Tar Abu's strategy last night. If you tuned in to TTL F1 League 1, then Tar Abu went on a set of soft compound tyres. I mean, with Axnes there, he's just completely and utterly invalidated turn 4. Complete butcher job, I think, of that one. But Axnes coming through turns 6 and 7, now through 8 and 9. We still go on board with this lap, on board with the Norwegian. Again, Axnes just powering a little bit too much. He's on a set of soft compound tyres there. You would imagine he's got the pace on these tyres, but trust me when I say this, going on a set of soft compound tyres is not the way to go in qualifying. Proven last night, I think hards to mediums is probably the way to go if you get above the halfway stage. Probably lap 20, I think, for a set of hard compound tyres to go around here. We'll have to remain and find out. We'll go on board then with Daniil. Oh, and he's picked up an invalidation now. Nobody wants to set a lap here tonight, honestly. Daniil coming through the final couple of corners then. 54.7 through the middle sector. And again, he's on a set of soft compound tyres. I have no problem, by the way, with people going on a set of soft compound tyres. but honestly it is the worst strategy to do. Charlie crossed the line 1:21.7. The lap times will be inevitably quicker than that. We go on board then with Billy, who is running car number 9 and is running a black helmet here tonight. Change in his livery actually. So Billy now coming around the final couple of corners, and the black helmet actually reflects quite nice off the hats. So Billy now coming through the final couple of corners. Looking good through here. Going to be quicker than Charlie. Across the line. 1:18.6 there from Billy. There's a McLaren in behind. I think that's Mashiro just preparing out for a lap. It is indeed. Right on board then further down the field. Right on board then with Storm, who's coming around the final couple of corners. Looks to me as if he's going to be probably ahead of Billy at this point. As he comes around the final corner now at the Hungary ring through turn 14. Very close to the inside wall there. Looking very nice though, and he just about goes quicker than Billy as Maximus has retired, and that is through turn 4 and 5. So the first car killer out on track. That turn always proves to be a car killer, and Maximus is out through turns 4 and 5. Just seeing that on the mini-map. Looks like he might have lost control through the corner. Back to Viking through the final corner on a set of softs. Doesn't go to the top of the standings of 1:21.4, and Charlie is now out of the session. So Charlie has retired that, and that is through turn 13 where he spun that. So we've already got 2 out of the session so far. Let's go on board then with Mashiro, second in the championship coming into tonight. McLaren coming through very nicely indeed. An invalid lap there, and a 57.5 through the middle sector. Looks like actually he might be on a down lap. He's going for another lap here, is the Japanese man. Currently only 4 guys have set a time around here. Storm, Billy, currently separated by 500ths of a second. Then you've got Vax Viking and Charlie, who's out of the session, as is Maximus. Mashiro round the final corner, getting his bank lap in, goes quicker than Vax Viking by 0.6 of a second. Inevitably he will improve on that. Let's go on board then with his nearest championship rival. 55.6 from Key through the middle sector. Now if you want to set a really good time around here at the Hungary ring, it is sub 55s through the middle sector, I think, yeah, where you've got to be aiming at if you really want to be striking for pole position. It's now Key comes around the final corner. I have a feeling we're going to see our first 1:17 of the night here across the line. Yeah, 1:17.9 from Key. Nice lap there by the McLaren man. He's happy with it. I'm happy with it. I'm sure you guys are happy with that as well. Key up into P1. Jeffrey, by the way, coming and setting a lap. Passel's across the line on a set of soft compound of tyres. Very interesting strategy calls here by a majority of the guys out on track tonight. OWR Daniil has just came across the line. Access just starting up on a lap as well. But interesting to note, we'll go back on board with Passel's. He's on a set of soft compound of tyres and 4/10 off on Key. Passel's not really the best consistent driver, the most consistent driver and the most quickest driver out there on the grid. But in second position, it will give him a lot of confidence going forward as he sets a purple first sector. But the Belgian has got to be careful. He is going to be swamped in the opening couple of laps if he decides to go on a set of soft compound of tyres. If he does that, then I can see him dropping through the field like Tawabu last night and dropping through like an absolute stone out on track. Let's go on board then with Axnes as he has a bit of a... I think he's made a mistake actually out on track. So we'll go on board with Daniil, and again another one who was invalidated out on track. So Daniil has invalidated 56.6, but currently as we approach the halfway stage here in qualifying, about 8 minutes through, and Key leads from Passel's in second, Storm in third, Billy in fourth, with Mashiro in fifth, Jeffrey sixth, Vax Viking seventh, Daniil in ninth currently, Charlie in eighth, but is sadly no longer taking part in the session. Good to see a lot of support, by the way, for the new graphics. Loving the graphics sets, TTG above other leagues full streams. Yeah, I think we're guaranteed to be better than Fantari Racing League at any stretch of the imagination. Pariah coming around the final couple of corners then. The Norwegian as he comes around the final couple of corners. I think he'll go second with this up. Maybe even the Key for provisional pole across the line. He does go second. So another prediction that goes right for me here tonight. A 1:18.1 for Pariah, and he goes second. He's just behind Key. Shows good pace, Pariah does, in qualifying, but in the race it just seems to be a little bit haphazard, and it might be the case here tonight again as Jeffrey just moves up into fourth position with a 1:18.5, just catching him at the end of his lap there. Mashiro has started on a lap, and I know Paco will probably be watching this stream and supporting Mashiro like he always does when he comes into the commentary box this on a Friday. Oh, and that is Pariah getting out of the way there. And she will through the first sector, 1.4 seconds up, and that is how you take turn 4, and that is how you set a 1:17.3 from Key. A 1:17.3 improves on his lap. Looks like he came back out of the pits to set that lap, so Key with a 1:17.3 currently on provisional pole. Might take some beating. Mashiro coming around the final couple of corners through the middle sector, now through turn 10 and into turn 11. They're very nicely there, very smooth on the power as well. 55.2 through the middle of the sector, 2.2 seconds up. He needs to find another 1.3 seconds in this final sector to stand any sort of chance of getting Key for provisional pole. Round the final couple of corners, I think this is looking good for Mashiro, to be honest. This could be maybe sneaking into the 16s. Mashiro coming around the final corner, comes across the line. He doesn't sneak into the 16s, but it's second, and the McLarens fill up the front row of the grid. It's Key in first, Mashiro in second. I think he's quite happy with that lap. 1:17.5, look very smooth, I've got to say, within the middle sector. Storm is into the pits, in fact Spiking not on a lap. Let's go on board then with Hades. King Koza is just completing the lap as well, but has invalidated. He's on a set of mediums, interestingly, as well. But we'll go on board then with Hades, who is OWR Hades, just to confirm. I think there might have been a little bit of a glitch within the standings that I saw. TTG Hades it was, it's OWR Hades of course, and the Norwegian coming through the middle sector, 55.8 through the middle sector, not the quickest that anybody has set, so the Norwegian will be hoping to go in and around Pariah, Passel, Jeffrey, Storm maybe sort of area, I'm thinking with this sort of lap, looking in theory to be going around Storm Billy's sort of area for 6th or 7th. Hades now around the final couple of corners. Coming across the line now, the timer ticks down, and he goes 4th actually with an 18.3, and is about 17 hundredths of a second ahead of Passels out on track. Let's focus then with our new driver, King Koza, who is coming round the middle sector. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres, looking very smooth through there. 55.8 through the middle sector, not really electric on a set of mediums, but currently with 6.5 minutes to go, he'll be hoping to try and get that bank lap in, which so many guys will be wanting. Maze and Access, by the way, have just came back out on track. Maze, I think, is just about to start the lap. We'll go on board with him in just a second. Mashiro, I think, has run out of fuel. King Koza coming around the final corner, goes 6th with an 18.3. Respectful time, but on a set of mediums, he wants to be a bit quicker than that, I think. He's a second off Key at this stage on a slower set, essentially, of tyres. So Daniil goes quickest. Daniil goes quickest. That's what you want to be doing on a set of mediums. You want to be trying to go quicker than the hard compound of tyre runners. And Daniil goes to the top of the standings with a 17.1 out on track. A little bit off, I've got to say, with seeing who's coming around the final couple of corners, but it is pretty much my first solo stream, I think, here, as we go on board then with the man of the moment, Maze. Currently in 10th in the standings coming into tonight on 11 points. My right arm begins to ache after doing a gym workout earlier on in my home. 55.6 through the middle sector for Maze. He's coming around the final couple of corners now. Through turn 12, look at the camera of the corner through here at turn 13. Really getting very close to the apex, but doesn't want to run onto the apex physically because he will end up spinning the car. Maze coming around the final couple of corners then, and now through the final corner of turn 14. Looking like a very consistent lap here by Maze. Could jump up into 4th, he does. 1:18 flat from Maze, and across the line he goes up to 4th position. Anybody else then on a lap? Billy has just came across the line, 1:18.6. I think he's just started up on a lap. Axnes coming through the middle sector, so we'll focus on him. King Koza, I think, is just coming around the final corner, and I think that might be Daniil just coming back into the pit lane ahead of him. So we go on board then with Access. He's the next to come across the line. 4.5 minutes pretty much to go. Access just runs wide there. Set a medium compound of tyres. We'll be hoping to set possibly a 55 through the middle sector. Yeah, 55.7. Purple through the middle sector, but that's not the fastest of the night. So Axnes will be looking on a set of mediums to probably go in and around Pariah, Hades, Passels, King Koza sort of area, I'm imagining, with this lap. Axnes coming around the final couple of corners is about 9 seconds from that little Rolex sign to the line. Not that one that's showing. Axnes goes 4th with a 17.8. As I said, it's about 9 seconds from the final corner, from the little under arch where the Rolex sign is, to the line. It's about 9 seconds. Maze off on a lap. Billy, who I was just going to jump on board with, has came across the line with a 17.9. It is currently Daniil, though, who's taking it out on track. He in second, Machiro third, Axel is now fourth, Billy in fifth. And everyone just looking like they're going to get set for their final runs. Who shall we go on board with next? I'm just trying to decide who we go on board with. I think we'll go on board then with Mashiro. In fact, we'll go on board with King Koza because I think he's just coming across the line. Yeah, King Koza comes across the line, doesn't do a lap there. I think he's going on to one, but we'll go on board then with that person who we were going to go on board with, and that was Mashiro. Yeah, going to go on board with him. Really forgot who I went on board with there, but the Japanese man starting up on a lap. He's on a set of mediums. He'd be hoping to try and improve at least a second on this lap towards Daniil. So he should be going, in theory, probably a 16.5, 16.6 sort of area, I think, on a set of medium compound of tyres. The darkness now begins to come in here in Britain with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left of qualifying. It is Daniil currently out on top, he in second, but you're riding on board with Mashiro, who's a 10th up through the first sector, and that is how you take turn 4 without picking up an invalidation. Very nice through there from the Japanese man. He's now coming up towards turns 5 and 6, turn 6 and 7. Very tricky chicane this, but gets it perfectly right. The yellow flag in sector 3 is Victor also getting out the way, just purely preparing for a lap, I think, and that will be Pariah, I think, on an out lap, or Hades, one on the 2. Mashiro coming through the middle sector, first 54 up, oh, and he's just invalidated. Mashiro invalidated, ran wide slightly. I've seen drivers run wide plenty of times there, not have an invalid lap, and Mashiro will have to count his lucky chickens again. He's going to have to go for another lap out on track, and in fact he comes back into the pits. That might be his session over and done with. As Mays has retired from the session in 7th. I think he improved 18 flat. King Koza as well has improved 18 flat up to 6th position. Pariah through the middle sector, Hades through the first sector. Try and pick up on somebody that's coming towards the line. I think Billy is. He's 5/10 of a second up here, Billy. He's got Storm leading them round out on track. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of a inter-team strategy going on here between the two. I've seen them race, of course, before, and Storm and Billy going around the final couple of corners. Storm is just preparing up for a lap, I do believe. He might be on a lap, actually, Storm. Goes across the line, goes second. Billy goes 4th as a result. So the run in the toe not really helping Billy. Might feel hard done by that, but there's no point, I think, because Storm set a quicker time than him. No point really to complain about that. Pariah now coming around the final corner, 5/10 up on a set of medium compound of tyres. Where's he going to go with this one? Pariah across the line goes 4th. So I don't think he'll be getting pole position this time around. Hades is coming around the final corner now. This is looking quick. Hades coming around the final corner. Comes across the line, goes 6th with a 17.5. Very close grid here so far. Jeffrey has just started up on a lap. In fact, Viking does improve, 19.1. Doesn't improve his position though out on track. Atlas Copel, by the way, I think might have a qualifying ban if I'm not mistaken. That's why he's in the pit lane and hasn't set a lap out on track. We're just trying to go on board then with somebody that is coming through the middle sector. Daniil's just gone on for a lap, but we'll focus on Key, currently out on track, as he unlocks himself, hopefully, for pole position. All he's got to do really is improve ahead of Daniil, and Daniil not to improve, and he doesn't. As soon as I say that, Key is invalidated. He knows it, and Key goes off track. He will retire, I think, from the session. He does. Unfortunate there for Key, but that is the nature of the track. We'll go on board then with Daniil. A 10th down through the first sector, so on a sort of hard compound of tyres, so I don't think he'll be improving. Jeffrey, however, is improving. He's 2/10 up, 4/10 up now within the middle sector. Pariah has retired from the session, so really it's only Hades that could try and take this theoretically for pole position, as we have now pretty much ended qualifying. Daniil, Storm, Key, Pariah, Billy are current top 5, and Jeffrey gives up. He's back into the pit, so Jeffrey not clearly finding time on that. Hades is not either, so it's all about King Koza and Bax Viking. Bax Viking is into the pit lane, so King Koza now around the final corner. Can he try and nick this late on? I don't think he will. It's going to be Daniil on pole position. King Koza across the line, improves slightly, doesn't improve his position, 0.08 of a second improvement there. So to give you the full rundown of the grid, we will do that as well in a little bit, but Daniil has taken pole position here, but look at how consistent the top 7 are. 4.5 tenths pretty much separating the top 7 out on track. Daniil across the line, not improving. Storm second, Key in third. Really big hopes for the championship for Key. He's got one of his nearest rivals in front of him on the grid, and he's got his totally nearest rival in the championship in 7th position and behind, and on a different set of tyres, which is really the big one to point out. Magyar Nagadec and the Hungary about to play host to TTL F1 League 2. But that is qualifying over, and it's Daniil who takes it from Storm in second, Key in third. Interestingly, on a set of hard compound tyres, the exception rather than the rule in terms of the top 10. Pariah in fourth, with Billy in fifth, Hades in sixth, Mashiro in seventh, just under 4.5 tenths separating the top 7. Axnes in 8th, King Koza in 9th, Maze in 10th, Passels in 11th, Jeffrey in 12th, Max Viking 13th, Charlie in 14th, not getting a lap in, and Maximus and Atlas Copel not getting a lap in either. So then, while we wait for the formation lap to come up, of course, everyone will have heard of the sad passing of Sir Sterling Moss, a legend of this sport, and we have a 50-second video that we are going to play for you right now. So we are back live then with the action out on track, and hopefully you guys really liked that 50-second tribute video that we did on behalf of the passing of Sir Sterling Moss, and our thoughts and prayers are with the whole F1 community affected by this, and of course to Sir Sterling Moss and his family, his extended family, what I'm sure is a very bad time for those out currently, and especially to Lady Moss, who I know was a real asset to Sterling Moss and pretty much wouldn't be the man he was today if it wasn't for her being within the relationship as well. But out on track, 35 laps await here at the Hungaroring, 16 drivers about to do battle. Everyone, I'm very pleased to say, on the set of mediums and on the set of hard compound of tyres, that's what they want to be starting on, and it's going to be a very intriguing race. Just to give you a recap of the top 3 coming into tonight off the driver standings, it is Key currently leading the way on 69 points, Mashiro in second on 62, and Storm in third on 51. Well, what does that do with qualifying ahead, with the race about to go? Key starting in third, Storm in third, starting in second, Mashiro the championship in the championship current second, starting down in 7th position out on track. But we are just moments away then from the Hungarian Grand Prix. The 5 red lights will about to go out, and we're about to get underway for TTL F1 League 2. The 5 red lights are about to go out here in Hungary. Long hold on the lights, but it's lights out and away we go. Daniil gets a good start. Storm gets a very good start as well. He's on the inside of Daniil as he goes side by side down towards turn 1. Good start in the background. There's 4 wide down in the midfield. but Daniil and Storm down towards turn 1. Storm on the inside line, gets through on Daniil, gets to the lead of the race. Good move there by Storm. Daniil in second, Pariah in third. Oh, and Pariah and Daniil make contact there. Key is up the inside, Hades is up the inside as well through turn 2. They both get damaged. Look like Daniil might have just had a bit of a snap of oversteer, really. Pariah into the wall, a little bit of damage there. Everyone clean through, I think, in behind. King Coulter has gone through on Mace. Maximus is going through on Passel's, possibly in behind as well. But a real dramatic start there, and it's King Coulter that is down, and he's pretty much out of contention. King Coulter is round through turn 4 and looking for the Turk out on track, but the Williams man down in 16th position. On settling down though, it is Storm who leads the way by 0.5 of a second from Daniil in second. Hades in third. I'm sure that incident will get looked at, by the way, and Daniil is on the back of Storm as we come through the middle sector once again, and now towards the end of the final sector here on lap 1. Side by side though in the background, Maze trying to get through on Pariah. Centered up the inside, gets the job done. Right side end plate damage, remember, for Pariah as a result of that contact with Daniil. I'm sure, as I say, that will be investigated. And now Pariah holds up a little bit of a train. He's into the pits. Right side end plate damage for him. But on the end of lap 1, it is Storm who leads the way from Daniil in second. Hades in third. 0.8 of a second separating the top 3 as they come across the line down towards turn 1. Billy is run on the back of Key for 4th. With Billy in 5th, Mashiro in 6th, Maze in 7th, Passel's down the inside of Jeffrey, just about getting that move done on this contact. Looked like it might have been a little bit of a desync there. Looked like Passel's possibly could have just spun the car. I'm not sure. We caught on board quite late with that, to be honest. Maximus, however, is down on the inside, and Jeffrey struggling. Might have a little bit of end plate damage. Maximus is on the back. Billy has gone through on Key. They're fighting side by side. But now Jeffrey and Maximus. Maximus trying to go around the outside line. Can he get the move done? He's on the inside line. No, he can't. Billy is through, though, on Key for 4th position. We saw them fighting through turns 4 and 5. But Billy is through on a set of medium compound tyres. He's through and he's up into 4th position. Sadly, I didn't catch that. I would have loved to have the replay cam on that, but we didn't. Hades is on the back of Daniil. Run wide in the background there. There's Storm leading the way though by 0.5 of a second. Daniil in second. Storm beginning to build pressure, possibly now on the 2 in behind. He needs this for a big jump in the championship standings. He needs to stay within title contention from Key and Mashiro, of course. Round 5, we're pretty much halfway through the season after tonight, and it's Storm who leads the way. DRS enabled then onto lap 3. Daniil is in behind, running down towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? He can't, and Hades is on the back of him as well. No real opportunistic overtakes happening, unless Maximus is going down the inside here on Jeffrey. He doesn't. Fair play to Maximus for not getting that done. Atlas Copper was made up good ground. Let's have a look at the position changes early on then. 6 positions gains for Maximus, 5 for Atlas Copper, 4 for Charlie and 4 for Jeffrey as well. And looking through a majority of the field, positives rather than negatives, out on track. And we go back on board then with Daniil. As we go through turn 5 and now towards 6 and 7. Storm right on the back here. Daniil, sorry, right on the back of Storm. We come through, flying through the middle sector now, through turns 8 and 9. Daniil's just running wide, doesn't want to afford to do that too often because he will pick up penalties. Storm on the inside line, just running out wide through the corner, getting caught on the curb. And now Daniil possibly setting up an opportunity. Faster through the middle sector there, and Hades is right on the back of him. And it's about a second separating the top 3 here. We go on the broadcast cam with Daniil, who's on the back of Storm. And we could see an overtake here for the lead of the race. Taking a much deeper inside line there, Daniil, to try and prioritise the run off the corner. Storm will have to defend this though down towards turn 1. Onto lap 4, Daniil within the slipstream. Can he get the move done? He's opening up the DRS. Down the inside goes the Ferrari, and the Tifosi goes down the inside on the racing point, but he's not giving up without a fight is Storm. Daniil just about to hang on this one, I think, and Daniil is through and he's into the lead of the race, but he's gone too deep through turn 4. Maximus is round on the background as well through turn 1. Not sure if there was contact possibly with Jeffrey there. Daniil and Storm though have changed positions for the lead of the race. It is Daniil who takes the lead. Great move by Daniil. I thought he just overcooked it slightly, but not quite, and Storm has to give way, and Hades now will begin to try and sense a bit of a weary, possibly racing point ahead. He's already been overtaken by one driver. Will there be an overtake again for Storm out on track as Hades is hunting on the back of him? In the meantime though, we go on board with the two McLarens, and I'm sure no team orders will be in effect here because they're both on the same strategy, probably both within the same party as well. Of course, it is Key and Mashiro, and they are the current top 2 within the standings coming into tonight. And Mashiro is on the back of Key. Hard compound of tyres, remember, they're ahead of Mace, so they're going to be running a bit of no man's land, but Billy ahead is going to come under a little bit of sustained pressure later on in this stint. Jerez is on the back. Daniil tries to break the toe, but he's already broken off the toe enough. The straight is long enough for Daniil to keep the lead of the race. As we see in the background though, Mashiro pulling out on Key, getting the move done down the inside. Can the Jap fly it down the inside of his teammate? Key on the switchback, will try and get the traction. The filter now down towards turn 2, and Mashiro has got the move done. Lovely overtake there by the Jap on his teammate. And Mashiro's through and he's up into 5th position. No team orders there from Team McLaren, and that's what we like to see. Good, clean, fair racing out on track. Storm then, under pressure, he's just losing the time now to Daniil out in front, 7.5 tenths of a second. Jerez is on the back though. I'm just going to turn on my light a little bit because it's getting pretty dark here in the UK. But in the meantime, we've gone board with Jerez, the man of the moment who was trying to desperately try and get the overtake done here on Storm. And this is for 2nd position. Oh, that was Billy running a mile wide in the background of shot, nearly going off there towards the Bosnian border. But Jerez is on the back of Storm. So we're about to start lap 6 here out on track. Regarding the pit stops, by the way, obviously drivers on the set of mediums will pit in slightly earlier. It was from around lap 12, I think, last night, where we had the medium runners pit in. The hard runners then pitted in around lap 20 to try and go 15 laps on a set of medium compound tyres. Just filtering through the field, looking through, everyone is going nicely. Atlas Coppo could be under pressure here from Axnes down towards turn 1, and the medium compound tyres coming into effect. Axnes down to the inside line here in Atlas Coppo, but not getting the move done, I don't think. Yeah, Atlas Coppo stays in 10th, but Axnes going to be on the inside line here. Atlas Coppo under pressure, and Axnes sails it down the inside. That is a diving move from Axnes on Atlas Coppo, but it pulls off, and the fresh mediums coming into play, and Axnes through, and he's up into 10th place. Pretty nice move, and Maximus is out of the race. Maximus has lost control of the car in the background of shot, and Maximus is out of the race. We saw that on the mini-map, didn't see that on the stream sadly. But Maximus out of the race and just adds a little bit to his woes of recent weeks. I'm sure he will try and come back to his form like he showed in Silverstone where he took that race win, of course. Storm on the back of Daniil, 4/10 of a second. Cautious Storm against aggressive Daniil. I think this is going to be the Ferrari and the Racing Point, and Storm has got to size this up very nicely indeed. Taking much thinner exit there through the final corner. Daniil getting the run, but Storm trying to break through onto the slipstream and trying to break the barrier down towards turn 1. He's not going to get the move done there though, and again not close enough through the exit of the final corner. You've got to really be within 3/10 of a second coming out of the final corner to try and get any sort of overtake out on track. And now Storm again is on the back of Daniil. We switch on board with this. Daniil now under pressure. Maybe his set of mediums beginning to wear slightly. You can just see actually on the right rear compound tyre that it does look like he could be losing the blistering slightly on that right rear that he's got on that Ferrari. So a little bit of blistering maybe starting to occur already for Daniil. That is not going to serve him up well as we get towards the peak point really for these mediums before they start to go off. Which should be in and around this lap, I think, where we should see the peak point come in terms of the strategy. Daniil though 8/10 of a second ahead from Storm. Wish I could give you a bit of action out on track. Charlie is catching Jeffrey, however. Charlie up 5 positions, Jeffrey up 4. Maximus leading the session. We do thank him though for attending here tonight. But Charlie trying to get onto the back of Jeffrey, 6/10 of a second as they run down towards turn 12. And again, not going to be close enough. Go back on board then with the battle for the lead. Storm a little bit closer this time, but again Daniil much quicker through the final corner. And again Daniil is going to have to run down towards turn 1. On to lap 8 out of 35. Daniil leads the way from Storm in 2nd. Jerez is in 3rd. Billy 4th. Mashiro 5th. Key in 6th. Team McLaren's beginning to try and reel in on Billy. Nathan 7th. Jeffrey in 8th. Charlie in 9th. Axnes in 10th. Atlas Coppo in 11th. Max Viking in 12th. Passal's 13th. Pariah 14th. And King Koza after that early Spin is down in 15th position, out on track. Just going to tune in then to the comment section, see how you guys are doing, as Billy picks up his first 3-second time penalty of this evening. Not the greatest thing to do really out on track, I think, but 3-second time penalties around here is definitely going to come. Just to confirm, by the way, if you are wondering who is behind these wonderful animations, it is Honey Badger, who is round through these beautiful animations. You can catch him on Twitter if you do want to get in contact with him at 15_honeybadger, I do believe is his Twitter name. At 15_honeybadger is his Twitter name if you do want to get involved. There's now going to be a whole load of influx there, I think, for you, Honeybadger. Still on the back of Daniil. Hadders is in 3rd position, and again, not really getting close enough to the back. Really trying to rein in, actually, on Hadders. It's 1.7 seconds. Daniil, again, new fastest lap of the race. Key trying to size up on Mashiwa, but not close enough. And again, battle's really not happening here in TTL F1 League 2. We saw a lot of good overtaking actually last night in TTL F1 League 1. And that was a phenomenal race actually, where Kalsper took the win from 8th position on the grid. I've just ruined it for anyone. I'm very sorry. You can ignore that spoiler I've just given you. Axnes is on the back of Charlie for 9th and 10th position. And interestingly, actually, Daniil's just picked up a 3-second time penalty out in front. So Daniil has picked up a 3-second time penalty. And again, I am suffering a little bit with my voice. So that's probably why I'm not being as enthusiastic as I normally am. Charlie there. Oh, and Charlie's out of the race. Charlie out of the race. We just saw that in the foreground of shot there. Not the best camera angle to pick up on, but Charlie catching the curb on turn 4 on the outside, I think it was. And he's out of the race. So Charlie out of the race. He was out in qualifying at the same place as well. And Charlie, turn 13 it was in qualifying, but Charlie out of the race and becomes our 2nd non-finisher of tonight. Both claimed at turns 3 and 4. Very tricky to get right, of course, those 2 corners. Storm is on the back here of Daniil. 6/10 of a second as they run down towards turn 1 again. But again, not close enough, Storm. This looks like he might be holding something in reserve. You can tell actually by the ERS he is. It's 67% running down through. Up to about 70% now. Daniil on 48%. And that is Storm on the back. And Daniil beginning maybe to feel pressure for the first time as now the Racing Point gets closer to the back of Daniil. Again, Daniil just quicker through the corners. He's really putting on the power. Remember, Daniil has, I think, won a race this season. I'll just confirm with my graphics that he has. No, Daniil hasn't won a race, sorry, it was pole position he took in Spain, is what I'm thinking of there. So Daniil took pole position in Spain, but hasn't won a race this season. Storm has, he took that race win in Spain, and Hadders has not won a race yet this season, and neither has Billy. So we could potentially have another race winner from one of these 4 drivers possibly out on track. Storm the only one, as I say, remember, to take the race win early on in the season. That was in Spain. Are we going to get a repeat of that between Daniil and Storm, I wonder? We'll have to find out in the next couple of laps or so. Begin to come towards the point now where we should see the medium runners begin to come into play. So you should see the top 4 begin to pit in, probably from around lap 12, as I say, lap 13 possibly, if drivers are really wanting to try and extend out the tyres. A bit further down the field though, we're going to go on board with a battle that is developing. It's Passel's on the back of Vax Viking, and this is down towards turn 1. Passel looking quicker down the straight than Vax Viking, pulls to the inside line, but not going to get the move done there. So Passel's going down towards turn 2, and again, I don't think he's going to be close enough. Vax Viking in 11th position. Passel, beautiful helicopter cam this. Try and get the overtake done, possibly down into turn 4 if he's close enough, but the mediums on the back of the hards, and the mediums will be running at a worse point in terms of tyre wear against the hards currently, so Vax Viking will have fresher tyres compared to Passel's at this stage of the race. Billy, 3-second time, I think it's the 2nd of the night. We go back on board then with the battle for the lead. 4.5 tenths between Storm and Daniil. We saw this before between these guys at 4.5 tenths, and then Storm couldn't get closer, and again, I think it's going to be the same point. You can see the different lines that they take through the final corner. Daniil a little bit shoddy there at the final corner actually, and that gives Storm a little bit of a half chance to get the move done down the inside, but again he's not taking risk with the ERAS, doesn't turn it up to full speed, and now Storm is eyeing up on the back of Daniil. But I think Storm's opportunity here is probably to force Daniil into a bit of a mistake. Daniil is now beginning to lose those tyres. There is a big black line going through that left rear tyre, so that indicates that the blistering is occurring, and on lap 12 out of 35 this is the point where the guy should pit in, possibly, or start to pit in from a set of mediums to a set of hard compounded tyres and make that one stop work. But that on track, if you're just tuning in, we're slowly approaching the halfway stage here in Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is TTL F1 League 2, and it's Daniil who leads the way from Storm in second, Hades in third, Billy in fourth, Mashiro fifth, Key in sixth, Mays in seventh, Jeffrey in eighth. Billy again is taking a little bit of a risk there in through the final couple of corners there. And Jeffrey in eighth, Axnes in ninth, Atlas Copo in 10th, Spike in 11th, Passel's in 12th. Are we going to see anybody of the leaders pit in? No, not everyone is going to go out for another lap at least. As we go on to lap 13 out of 35, Daniil leads from Storm in second, Hades third, Billy in fourth, Axel still catching Jeffrey, 9/10 of a second separating out on track. Honestly wish there was a little bit more overtaking, to be honest, out on track. Billy is getting closer to Hades, and he's pulled away from Mashiro, but that gap between himself and Mashiro has stayed quite consistent so far out on track tonight. And it just appears to me that Daniil has got the measure of the Storm for now, and Hades has certainly got the measure over Billy for now. And it just runs everyone into a bit of no man's land, to be honest, out on track. Axel on the back of Jeffrey, not getting the move done there down in towards turn 2. Billy, however, beginning to sense that Hades is a sitting target in front of him. He's going to try and come at him here to come through. Just to pick up on some of the comments that's been coming through. Good evening to everyone, as I say, that is coming in. If you do want to get in touch with, also show your support to the drivers, or get in touch with me, of course, then you can do that, of course, here in TTL F1 League 2. 11 people watching, very good to see, and hopefully everyone enjoying tonight. Charlie saying sometimes this game makes no sense. I did nothing different to any other lap and still crashed. It makes no sense. It's probably because I would imagine as Storm is into the pits. So Storm into the pits from second position on the grid. As I was saying to Charlie there, possibly tyre degradation. We do wear off mediums here, I think 4% per lap. So obviously the mediums will begin to run that temperature. It's probably the peak time, especially when he's been on a set of hard tyres. Those hards do appear to go a little bit longer in terms of tyre degradation, but the tyres will still degrade out on track. Storm, by the way, getting out in clear air. He's out in 9th position onto a set of hard compounded tyres. We're 2/5 of the way through here. So Daniil in front. Bear this in mind though, Storm 21.8 seconds behind Daniil coming out of the pits. Remember that figure, because I think Daniil will come into the pits this lap or maybe next lap. Billy is giving Hades something to think about here out on track. He wants this, you know, Billy. He's doing it out on track. Remember, running his new black livery that he's, or the black helmet I should say that he's running, and car number 9. Billy doing a good job currently out on track. He's 7/10 of a second. As we've got a battle developing possibly further down. We could have an opportunity for an overtake here possibly. It is Axel on the back of Jeffrey. This is for P8 out on track, and the front 3 are in. So the front 3 are in. Storm catching the gap in behind. Billy just nearly spinning into the pit lane. So Daniil into his pit box. Let's have a look then for Storm. Storm is coming around the final couple of corners. And Hades is already out of his, is already into his pit box. Daniil out of his pit box, and Hades has not been jumped by Billy. But here comes Storm. The undercut has not worked. Daniil has got the lead of the race, but Storm will rejoin in the next second position. Axnes is just on the back of Jeffrey, and Mays is on the back of this as well. This could be a real 6-car train that is beginning to develop out on track. Mashiro and Key, the further they go into the race, the further they might actually excel out on track. And Mays is holding up a right cluster here. Mays, Axnes and Jeffrey, the guys have got to be careful here out on track. Slowing car ahead, Daniil especially, and Daniil's on the inside line going through turn 5, gets the move done on Axnes. Good move there by Daniil. Axnes picking up a 3-second time. Billy Jeffrey is trying to desperately get past on Maze, but look at this is what it's doing in behind. Axnes has run wide. Let's storm through, I think. No, Axnes is actually still out ahead of Storm, but he's now holding him up. This is going to be really intriguing. The leaders are being held up here out on track. Mashiro and Key are slowly but surely coming into this race. The more time that these guys are held up by, the more chance that Mashiro and Key could have a 1-2 out on track. Maze is trying everything in his power. He could go another lap and really disrupt this race, left, right and centre, but Maze is going to come into the pits, and now that frees Jeffrey. But what that does essentially is now pass the throne onto Jeffrey, because he's now going to be holding up this train in behind. Daniil is on the back, but Jeffrey is going to be clear, I think, down towards turn 1, or is he? Because Daniil is on the back of him. Down towards turn 1, not quite. Storm on the inside on Axnes. Mediums against the hards. Fresh hards as well for Storm. He's on the outside line. He's got the DRS. So was Axnes. Oh, and it looked like Jeffrey got the move done. Is defending the position hard from Daniil. A little bit of contact there. Axnes trying to go up the inside line, which is not really his. Billy is doing Hades as well. I cannot keep up with this, you know. Billy is trying to go for the move on Axnes. Round the outside towards turn 4. Never going to get that one done, though. And Daniil is on the back of Jeffrey. Goodness me, I hope the replay cameras are coming into play here. And now Daniil is up the inside of Jeffrey, trying to get the move done into the chicane. Never going to pull that one off. That is never an opportunity for overtaking. But what this is doing is putting the race entirely on its head. Jeffrey is holding up the lead as a right treat here. He hasn't got a teammate ahead of him. He's got the 2 McLarens ahead of him. And Axnes is trying to go down the inside line now on Jeffrey. And Billy is down the inside line on Axnes. Goodness me. I wish I had Paco here at this stage, because he can take over from me. Jeffrey is under pressure, sustained by Daniil and Storm. Axnes, Billy and Hades. And Billy is through and he's in. And Axnes is into the pits. So Axnes now gives Billy the freedom. Daniil on the back of Jeffrey. Storm on the back here. Could get a 2-for-1 down in towards turn 1. Daniil down the inside. Oh, and Jeffrey comes across. Storm not realising that. And that's end plate damage, I think, for Storm. Right side end plate goes flying for one of the main championship contenders. Storm down the inside line, though. He's not going to give this one up without a fight. Through turn 2 he goes. He's not going to get the move done, though, I don't think, with the front wing damage that he just picked up. But my God. Wow. The most entertainment I think we've had in TTL F2 so far, in TTL F1 League 2 I should say, so far in this race. Billy on the back of Storm, down the inside he goes. Can he get the move done? Oh, I'm never going to go for the move there down the inside. Hades is being held up a treat by all of this as well. Daniil is beginning to get away. He is free of the traffic in Jeffrey. And he's now into P3 out on track. This is only the halfway stage. I hope it's like this towards the end of the race, Mike, because this is going to be quite a spectacle for you guys. Billy trying to use the overtake now to try and get the move done. He doesn't quite. Replay camera, certainly Badger's going to be working at 100 miles an hour. He's going to be like one of the Alvin and the Chipmunks, I think, after this one. Mashiro leads onto lap 18 from Key in second. Daniil now free of the traffic in third. Jeffrey is in fourth. Storm in fifth. But look at Billy. He's all on the back of Storm. Running into the final corner. Storm now under pressure. Run onto the grass slightly. Here comes Billy. Is he going to slice this one up down towards turn 1? He does. He's gone late. And he's gone way too late into Jeffrey. And that's going to cause all solar carnage in behind, possibly. Jeffrey and Storm, 3 wide out of turn 1. Billy is run off track there by Jeffrey. Not sure what's going on there. Billy's down the inside of Jeffrey, and this is just getting a little bit too much, I think, out on track. Bit of a desync between the two. Billy going for the inside line there. He might be weaving on the track, but I'm sorry, that was his fault. I've got to be honest, that was his fault. Way too late on the brakes, over-committed and over-aggressive, I think, there from Billy. And I wouldn't be surprised if that one is forwarded to the stewards. Well, what that does is really spread everyone out again. And Hades is on the back of Storm. This is for 4th and 5th position. Jeffrey then has been cleared by all of the main protagonists within the race. Mashiro, though, into the pits from the lead of the race. Mashiro's probably been thinking, Billy is weaving again at Jeffrey. I'm not sure what his intentions are here, to be honest. But Billy has got to just focus on his race and ignore the driver behind and just focus on his own race. He's into the pit, he's got left side end plate damage, in fact, Billy, so that's probably why he is weaving. Nearly goes off into the pit lane there. Hades is on the back of Storm though. Let's focus on the real action as Hades is on the back of Storm. Mashiro is out ahead of Storm. Unbelievable. This is what I meant about the two McLarens getting into the race, and this is perfect for the two McLarens. Hades is down the inside line on Storm, down towards turn 2. Can he get the move done? He's on the inside line, he gets the job done. Good move there by Hades. Storm, I think, not fighting that with the front wing damage. He's going to continue on though with Storm, and he's down and he's into now 5th place as Hades has gone through, but Mashivo, the big gainer, out of. He will be thanking Jeffrey, I think, later. And I'm sure if it was out of the lockdown, he'd be going to visit him out on track, but goodness me. Key, 14 seconds clear over Daniil. The race has gone from literally 0 to 100 miles an hour, quite literally, within the space of a few laps. That is what has happened right there. Mashiro though, interesting, on the back of Daniil, it's only 1.2 seconds down on track. Key is into the pit lane as well. I think he's going to be coming out in and around these guys. The Key into the pit lane. One of the Aussie tracks, by the way, where you go down the inside line and actually gains you time as opposed to loses the time. Mashiro was a second on the back of Daniil. Key is coming out of his pit box now. He might rejoin here in 3rd. It could be quite tight though as he rejoins. No, he's not going to join in 3rd. He's going to rejoin, I think, in 5th as Storm has gone through on him as well. So Key rejoining in 5th position. But the McLarens have landed themselves up in a golden opportunity here out on track. Parcells, Jeffrey, Atlas Copo all into the pits. Billy has that front wing change. But a lot of action now happening out on track. We are only just through halfway. It's Daniil who leads the way from Mashivo in 2nd. It's Hades in 3rd from Storm in 4th. And Key in 5th. But look at Key right on the back of Storm. He's not going to go for the overtake here. He does. Storm lets him through. And he's through and he's up into 4th position. So Storm not fighting. I think he's got the time and the space now to go for 5th position. He really has now got that time to try and find back and try and stay within Key's range, I think, out on track. I've got to say, this is not really doing great for my throat. It is Mashiro though on the back of Daniil. 3/5 of the race through. And Daniil. Now look at Mashiro all over the back for the lead of the race. You can probably sense where this could be going. Mashiro fastest lap of the race. Going to have to go around the outside line. But look at the toe. He's getting down the straight. Daniil will have it up the inside line. Mashiro just runs onto the marble slightly. Gives Daniil another look in. But now Mashiro on the inside line should just begin to pull away on the run down towards turn 2. Daniil on the outside line. He is going to fight that. The trees just cover slightly. But Mashiro is through and he's into the lead of the race. So Mashiro through into the lead of the race out on track from Daniil now in 2nd. Good move. Key is on the back then of Hades. 3rd and 4th position out on track. And currently Key will be looking to try and repeat a 1-2. It could be the same 1-2 as last week between Mashiro and Key. Of course, Key has got to get through Hades and got to get through Daniil first. But out on track, it is looking very good. I hope you guys are really enjoying the action. Of course, if you do like what you've been seeing, like, comment and subscribe to the channel. We'll go on board with a battle potentially for 5th position between Pariah, Maze and Axnes out on track. We just ran on board then. I've just seen the replay actually of through turn 1. The McLaren getting the move done there on Daniil down towards turn 1, got the move done. So Axes is on the back of Maze. Thank you, by the way, to that one disliker that is on the stream, much appreciated. Key down the inside line on Hades, and that is what I say to that basically. Key down the inside line on Hades, gets the job done. Clean move, clean sailing, job done, up to 3rd. Axes on the back of Maze, 6th and 7th out on track. And Axnes on the back here of Maze. 6th and 7th as we run down towards turn 1. Axes down on the inside line, Maze on the outside line. Can he get the job done down on the inside of the corner? We see as the camera pans out, Axes has got that job done. He's through and he's up to 6th, and Jeffrey, after holding up that whole train, is now getting held up himself. which I think is just how this race has panned out for him, to be honest. He's now getting held up out on track, but has really shown some good affluence of pace tonight. And Jeffrey doing a good job in 8th position, as is everyone, I think, out on track here tonight. Billy, by the way, is now on the back of Atlas Copel. There's a lot going on here out on track. You can probably appreciate why I am missing a few things out on track. But it is now Mashiro who leads the way from Daniil in 2nd. It's Key in 3rd, Hades 4th, Pariah in 5th. We'll go back on board though with Axnes. He passes up the race, by the way, from Mashiro out on track, 1:19 flat, and Key in fact going there with a 1:19 flat. So 1:19.1 I think for Mashiro. The Key with a 1:19 flat, getting the job of fastest lap currently. Of course, the fastest lap point is available. Axnes on the back of Pariah. Mays on the back of Axnes. Jeffrey on the back of Mays. Quite literally a 4-car train running down the straight. Hop on board for this one, I think. Jeffrey is on the back of Mays. And now mediums against hards. Could try and get the job done down towards turn 1. He's late on the brakes. Not as late as Billy though on the brakes. And he gets the move done. Jeffrey down the inside line. And Billy is down on the inside line of Atlas Copel as well. It's 3 wide coming down towards turn 2. Possibly Storm's trying to get on the act as well. He's right on the outside of Atlas Copel, trying to get the job done. Billy having to park his car right in the middle of the apex. Sends Atlas Copel onto the inside. And Storm, very respectfully, I think, backs out of that one. There was going to be probably contact between them both. Good job there by Storm, and good realising of the situation there. Pariah, though, is beginning to hold up Axnes, Jeffrey and Mays. Jeffrey getting that move done, remember, on Mays for 7th position. He's got the move done there on a set of mediums. Axnes runs wide, and now Pariah just has a little bit of breathing room out in front. To 5th position currently, Pariah. Not going as planned again within the race. Didn't qualify on pole position this time. But out on track, a lot of action happening here. Literally, the first half of the race was quite boring. The second half of the race is just coming absolutely alive. It's like the 100-metre sprint. Jeffrey into the back of Axnes. A little bit of contact there between them both. No front wing damage, luckily, I don't think, for Jeffrey. But now Axnes has got the opportunity to try and close in on Pariah. But Pariah, with that great run out of the final corner, is going to get the run on Axnes down towards turn 1. And it should be job done for Pariah down towards turn 1. And it is. So Pariah holds on to the position. Axnes giving him a little bit of a cheeky tap. Jeffrey, Mays, and now Billy hopping onto the back of this. Atlas Copel is not in behind. Pariah sails it up the inside. Axnes is trying to go all the way around the outside. Oh, and he's never going to pull that one off. He rejoins track and it caused all sorts of chaos. Mays has avoided him. Billy has avoided him, and that is Mays out of the race. That is a horrible, horrible collision. All from Axnes getting onto the grass there, trying to go around the outside. Very bold to try and go around the outside there, to be honest. Never going to work. And unfortunately, Mays is out of the race. He just cannot catch a break here. Jeffrey is retired out of the race as well. So Jeffrey and Mays out of the race. I'm not sure if Jeffrey has just raged, I think, out on track there. I think he probably has done. So now 4 DNFs out of the race. Billy looks like he is struggling with front wing damage as well. He's got left side end plate damage again, another one that hasn't caught a break out on track. But talking about catching a break, Key's around the outside of Daniil. This is for 2nd position. Key around the outside. This is what Axnes should have done. Little bit of bumping and barging. Key on the inside line, Daniil on the outside, and they fight hard. Daniil has to rejoin, and that, I think, is Key and Daniil probably at their finest there. If a little bit too aggressive, I've got to be honest. Key is through and he's up to 2nd. Daniil in 3rd. He had to try and fight that as hard as possible, Daniil, but it was always going to be one outcome, and that was going to be Key up into 2nd position. Axnes is out of the race. And I'm not sure where that was actually done out on track. Axnes, his car has gone. That was through the final corner or in the pit lane, I think, so I'm not sure what has happened there. Well, we're down to 11 now out on track, and Hungary holding no bounds, I think, out on track. The driving, to be honest, if I've got to be honest, lacking a little bit. Storm with left side end plate damage. He's on the back of Atlas Copel. This is for 6th and 7th position. And Storm now is on the back of the Alfa Romeo. It's just gone a little bit quiet now, I think. I'm glad it's gone a little bit quiet out on track. Hashtag every week, says Mays. Hashtag every week. I know how you feel, Mays. I know how you feel. And Storm saying, give up, apparently, there. But no, I know how he feels. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2 as well. I think Billy has just had a bit of a spin on cold softs. But it's unfortunate. I mean, drivers, again, getting out of the race. TTL F2 last on Tuesday, in fact. That was a great race in Hull for the feature race, where we had that brilliant battle, remember, between Mays and Thingy. Oh, and Daniela's round. Daniela's round. Missing that completely there. I'm waffling on completely. And Daniela's round through turn 5, I think that was, on the inside of turn 5. So Daniel round had us through up to 3rd. This race beginning to unravel in terms of who can keep going the longest, I think. Storm on the back of Atlas Copo. Atlas Copo trying to get onto the back of Pariah, who was not somehow running... He was not somehow running 24 lap old tyres still. We're trying to get those onto set of softs towards the end of the race, but he's in good contention here to try and pick up some points. Mashiro then leads the way, 4.4 seconds out on track from Key in 2nd. It's Hades in 3rd. It's Daniel in 4th, with Pariah in 5th. Atlas Copo in 6th. Storm in 7th. Pass LZ. Vax Viking 9th. King Koza in 10th. And Billy down 11th after a little bit of a spin. Atlas Copo now on the back. You can tell where this one, I think, is going to go. Atlas Copo on the back of Pariah. 4/10 of a second as they come through. Now the Alfa Romeo pulls out on the slipstream on Pariah, trying to get the move done. The Pariah against Atlas Copo. Atlas Copo trying to go around the outside here. Use the force of the gravity around the outside and through the camber of the corner. He's on the back of him and trying to go around the outside of turn 2. Atlas Copo, much pressure tyres, I think he might get this one done, you know. Atlas Copo around the outside of turn 2. Very, very, very good move. And Atlas Copo through, and he's up into 5th on Pariah. Good move. That's a fantastic move, and the best race, the best overtake we've seen so far this race. Atlas Copo easy, given 18 laps difference in the tyres. That was bound to be easy, and Atlas Copo just carried it around the outside. Takes grit and determination to try and get that move done, by the way. And honestly, he proved that, and Atlas Copo through, and he's up into 5th position out on track. But very good racing, and now Storm trying to get through on Pariah. This is for 6th and 7th position. Billy another 3-second time penalty, catching King Koza at a rate of knots. And Storm on the back of Pariah. This is 6th and 7th position. We've got 7 laps to go. 6.5 we've been picky. Mashiro leads, Key 2nd, Hades 3rd, and Daniel in 4th. But here comes Storm to the inside line. You have the car hop alongside, but again doesn't commit the move. And with the front wing damage, I think it might be the right call there. Storm on the back again. You can see using his no ERS there. Oh, just gives him a little bit of attack. Not realising I think that Pariah was going a little bit slow. I think Storm has got to get past Pariah sooner rather than later. He's going to be coming into the pits anyway, so you may as well try and go for the move, even with the front wing damage. Try and show a little bit of balls of steel, I think, out on track. King Koza on the back of Passels. Passels just came out of the pits actually. He's on a set of soft compound tyres. Now King Koza switches to the inside line. Passels gives him the room to try and complete the move off. And he was never going to get that one done. I think Passels managed just slightly make contact with him. And King Koza now down into 10th position out on track. And Billy on the back, Storm is on the back of Pariah. We'll try and focus on both baskets if we can at the same time. It's Mashiro who leads, Key in 2nd, Hades 3rd, Daniel in 4th, Atlas Copo 5th, Pariah 6th, Storm in 7th, Vax Viking in 8th, Passels in 9th, King Koza under pressure from Billy. Got to be patient here, Billy, to try and get past. Realises that the car is on 26 lap old odds. Oh, and King Koza is losing those tyres completely. Billy is going to try and get past. Storm has gone through on Pariah. Pariah's gone through on Storm down towards turn 1. Side by side. And Storm on the inside line. Got to show the commitment here. Gets the job done. Forces Pariah to the outside line and sneaks it up the inside. Good job there for Storm. And he's up into 6th position. Now out on track. Billy on the back of King Koza. Haas against Williams running down the straight. He doesn't look like he's got any ERS running. He's going to have to try and commit it around the outside. Going to try and be smart here. Switching it to the inside line. He's now going to use up that ERS to good effect down the straight, but down the hill towards turn 2. Billy is trying to commit this around the outside. Fresher tyres again, the order of the day, and he gets the move done and just about holds it to track. So Billy gets the move done there on King Colza, and that is for the final point scoring position on track, and that is him up into 10th position. Up 30 out of 35. Mashiro leads, Key in second, Haddow's third on. Billy's out of the race. Just saying that, Billy is out of the race. King Colza has been spun around, I think, in that as well. Not sure what happened there. Too busy focusing on board with Pariah, who is still somehow keeping up with Storm. Pariah has been into the pits once. Can't guarantee you that. You can tell by his tyres, and you can tell by the number of laps that we've done. So Billy out of the race, not his race today. Pariah was on the back of Storm. 0.3 of a second running down towards turn 2, but again, not close enough. Magnon Nadadech holding no prisoners here out on track tonight. It's been proven with 6 DNFs now out on track. Mashiro though leads from Key in second, and these two have dominated now the second half of the race. Nowhere to be seen. The race completely blew up in front of them, or behind them, and that has proved to be the order of the day. And I think Mashiro onto the final 4 laps is going to be wrapping up a second consecutive win. King Colza into the pits. Looks like he's got front wing damage. He's into the pits. And it's Mashiro who still leads the way though, from Key in second. Haddow's third. Daniil trying to sneak a little bit closer here on the back of Haddow's, and this is 3.2 seconds separating the gap out on track. The gap has come down slightly, just slightly, but not much. It has come down slightly out on track. You can tell that I'm now beginning to really struggle here. Oh, gonna try and keep on in there. We've only got 3.5 laps to go. It is Mashiro who leads the way out on track. In fact, it's 4 laps to go after this one. Do apologise. But if you have liked what you've been seeing out on track, then do of course like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Tick that notification bell of course if you are new. And of course the next action you will see is CRC tomorrow, Tier 2, 7:30, with Alan Cavey taking you through that one, and then 8:30 I'll be joining Alan Cavey in the box for CRC Tier 1 action. GT3s remember, and it's Long Beach. We should see some good action there out on track. Pariah, by the way, did come into the pits. He's now back out in 8th position, probably to go for fastest lap of the race. But now the race has just quietened down completely, and we can focus then on the individual drivers. And in fact, I will run down the penalties for everyone's benefit out on track. Of the ones that are still going, by the way, Mashiro has got a penalty. Key has got a warning. Good stuff. Haddow's got 2 warnings. Good stuff. Daniil has got a 2 penalties. Atlas Copo has got 2 warnings. Good stuff. Storm has got 2 warnings. Good stuff again. Vax Viking just running through for the benefit of everyone to slow it down a little bit. Penalties for Vax Viking. Pariah has got a penalty. Passels has got a penalty and a couple of consecutive warnings there on laps. King Colza, the final one, on 2 penalties out on track. So that is a benefit for the winner graphic that will show at the end of this race. And on to the final couple of laps. Nobody within 2 seconds of each other basically. Storm and Atlas Cope are the closest battle, but they're not going to be close enough towards the end of the race, I don't think. So Mashiro leads, and again it's been a really dominant performance. Of course, if you do want to vote for Mashiro for your stick 'em up driver of the day, you can get that sent in to within the chat, within the Discord of course, and possibly on the PSN chat as well. I'm sure that message will be posted up, and I'll clarify as well about steward incidents. I'll clarify about the deadlines, times and that at the end of this stream as well. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed the stream. I'm sorry that I can't commentate as good as I can. My voice is suffering after a few consecutive nights of commentary. it is now beginning to struggle, and I'm still trooping on, and I really appreciate that you guys are still here watching the action as well. We haven't got really anything better else to do as we come on to the final 2 laps of the race. It is Mashiro who leads the way from Key in second, it's Hades in third, Daniil in fourth, with Atlas Coppo now in fifth, Storm in sixth, that's Viking 7, Pariah 8, Pastel's 9th, and King Koza in 10th. That's probably the order that you're going to be seeing. In the meantime, though, Mashiro coming through the first sector on the penultimate lap of the race. And it's been a really dominant second half of the race from the McLaren boys out on track. There was the yellow flag in sector 2, and Pastel's is out through turn 4. So Pastel's is out through turn 4. I did say in qualifying that will be a car killer, and that has proven to be the case for a majority of our drivers, I think, out on track tonight. So Pastel's now out of the race. King Koza is going to be up into 9th position, providing he gets around the final, onto the penultimate lap of the race. He'll go past Pastel. He leaves the session. We thank him though for attending. Shiva though, leading us round through the middle sector. Clouds beginning to gather here right at the end of the race here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Of course, next week for TTL F1 and for League 2, we take in the legendary circuit. And I'll just confirm that calendar in just a second as well, and we'll confirm that at the end of the stream. I'll repeat that. And in fact, I'll repeat that at the end of the stream. Mashiro goes on to the final lap out in front. It is Key in second, 4.4 seconds separating. Hades in third, Daniil in fourth, Atlas Coppo fifth, Storm in sixth, Viking 7th, Pariah 8th, King Koza in 9th. And this really is a lap of honour for the Japanese man out on track. Remember, he's got penalties, but he has got the buffer over Key. And this is going to provide, I think, interesting enough, I have a feeling, just going to try and nick on board, he's got the fastest lap. Pariah's got the fastest lap by a mile, so 18.2, I think the Pariah is going to be the order of the day on that. But in terms of points, there was 7 points coming into tonight between Mashiro and Key. Mashiro obviously being in second, Key in first. That is now going to alter, and I think they're tied for the lead going into next week. So they're tied for the lead going into next week. But Mashiro coming around the final couple of corners now. As I say, it's been a dominant performance from him out on track from start to finish. And the Japanese man's only got 2 more corners to go. My voice has probably got only 2 more corners to go as well. But Mashiro is coming around the final corner now. And the Japanese man is going to take it out on track. Mashiro will take the race win out on track. He throws it to the line. Key 3.7 seconds off, will remain that way. So it's Mashiro and Key and McLaren 1-2. The same result, I think, is what we're going to get from last week, apart from Daniil. If Daniil hasn't got any penalties, Hades might drop down here. Can't remember the penalties off the top of my head. Hades across the line in third. Daniil across the line in fourth. Yeah, he had penalties, so no same result as last week, but Hades now onto the podium as well. So Hades third, Daniil in fourth. Storm trying to chase down Atlas Coppo late on. King Koza, by the way, is just coming out in behind these guys, I do believe. Max Viking is coming around in behind him as well, so you should see the whole cluster of cars now coming through. Atlas Coppo coming around the final corner. He is going to finish in 5th. Storm will come across the line to finish in 6th. Penalties might change things. King Koza across the line in 9th there. Here is Max Viking coming around the final corner in 7th. Pariah was catching, not catching enough though. Max Viking across the line in 7th and Pariah across the line in 8th position, and they stay as they are. But out on track, that is action over and done with, and it is Mashiro who takes the race win here in Hungary. So now to the podium celebrations, and it's Mashiro for the 2nd week in a row who takes the win, and his defence of his TTL F1 League 2 title goes into the next round, tied for the lead with Key. 1st and 2nd from the McLarens. They played the strategy fantastically well. Great run from Hades in 3rd as well. But out on track, it is Mashiro who takes the win, and McLaren extend their championship in the constructors as well, the championship lead in the constructors. But it is Mashiro who takes the win. Well, another lap and Key was catching. Another lap, it could have been a different result, but Mashiro takes it from Key in 2nd. Hades is in 3rd, from Daniil in 4th, Atlas Corpo in 5th, Storm has finished in 6th, Max Viking has finished in 7th, Pariah across the line in 8th, King Koza across the line in 9th, Parcel's DNFing, he doesn't pick up the final point I'm afraid, Billy, Axnes, Jeffrey, Mays, Charlie and Maximus all out of the race, different points within the race here out on track. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream, and hopefully you guys do leave a like, comment, subscribe and tick that notification bell if you are new, of course, to TTL F1 League 2. As I say, next time we will be live will be for Long Beach tomorrow. It is CRC GT3 Tier 2 and Tier 1. Tier 2 at 7:30 UK time, 8:30 UK time if you want to see me. And Alan Cavey will be taking you through both streams as well. And next action for us out on track will be, of course, next week. And I do believe, if I recall from last night, I'm just going to confirm this on the calendar now, we go to Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps. So we go to Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix out on track, and what in night we should have in prospect for then. And of course, do join us for TTL F1 League 1 as well, where we'll be hosting from Belgium as well. Hopefully Kevin McGinley and Paco Suarez will be back next week. But thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. I know we've made it. We have all made it out on track. And the final thought from me is, remember to stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service as well, and to save lives. If you don't stay home, you cannot save lives. It is simple as that. Thank you so much for watching here tonight in TTL F1. From me, James Head, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.